Welcome to the Cincy PostCast. I'm your host, Kevin Wallace, and before we get into today's episode, I want to tell you about our sponsors, Streetside Brewery, a fantastic local Cincinnati brewery. Just absolutely love the work that they are doing over on the east side of Cincinnati. Super happy to be partnering with them this season. Streetside has a wide variety of brews on tap at their tap room, which, by the way, is, for my money, one of the best places to grab a beverage in this city. It is really well done. They always have a food truck outside and rotating guest food trucks as well. Always a good time. I will say, coming up this weekend over at Streetside on Friday, June 14th, you've got Meldock Eye playing live music on the patio from 6 to 9 p.m. And then on Saturday, June 15th, it's an all-day festival, the Tusculum Street Fest. Easy for me to say. The Tusculum Street Fest runs all day. And hey, let me tell you, Streetside is a great place to catch away matches on the 15th. Go watch FCC on the West Coast there at Streetside. It's always a good time. So again, a huge thank you to Streetside Brewery. You can go to those events at 4003 Eastern Avenue, again, over on the east side of Cincinnati, or pick up one of their brews wherever you are buying your next beer. So again, huge thank you to Streetside for sponsoring this episode. Oh, and on today's episode, yes, we have a conversation with Yuya Kubo. Look, we as a fan base have been clamoring for more information about Yuya Kubo. We got some. We got him on the podcast. We were able to ask him all sorts of questions. It's a lovely conversation. All of that happens in part 2. In part 1, we actually talk about the news that just came out this week that FC Cincinnati has put in a bid for an NWSL franchise. That is a professional women's franchise, maybe coming to Cincinnati. We'll see how successful the bid is, although I can say the folks involved and me are pretty bullish on that happening. Then in part 3, yes, there is a match this weekend. FC Cincinnati travels to San Jose. That is previewed with a little help from our new intern. Put it all together, you got yourselves one heck of a postcast. Joining me to talk about all of that and more, two gentlemen who are ready to get back in the saddle and get on with this season. Joined by the Chief, joined by Grayson. Chief, back in the closet once again. How's it treating you?
I mean,
and it's Pride nice. Month, no less.
I know.
I was going to make that joke and didn't know whether or not that was going to hit or not. But yeah.
We'll find out.
Right. Well, we'll see. It's nice. It's got some extra linens back here that we haven't used yet. It's got a nice door that closes, too. So, you know, and it's connected to a bathroom. So there's like a double thing of separation between myself and my in-laws. Yeah, no, they looked at me a little strange when I said I had to leave vacation today to go do an interview with Yuya fucking Kubo. The missus, she got very excited because she actually knows who Yuya Kubo is and she's aware of the bit. She did ask though, and I guess we'll leave this up to everyone's imagination. Does he know about Yubo? And I said, that would be spoiling. I don't know. You're going to have to listen to the episode like everyone else.
Well, given how the interview went, which we've already recorded at this point, I hope he doesn't find out because Yubo was based off of a fact.
Stay tuned. All that and more.
It was based off of not Yuya Kubo, to be clear, and for legal reasons.
How would you even explain it to him?
Nope. You couldn't. You wouldn't. It just...
Right. What would have been funny is if we... So inside the bit, I guess, this would have been better to talk about after the interview, but we're taping this all out of order. We only have so much time when it comes to professional athletes. They have lives and schedules, and when you get an interview with a professional athlete, you've got to respect their time. It would have been tremendously funny if we would have burned all of our time explaining the Yubo situation, all to ask one question. So, are you okay with that? Is that cool? You've been a lovely guest. Thank you very much.
Not even are you okay with that? Just
what is your
thoughts? Reaction to that?
Right. Imagine another grown man sitting with other grown men in an office rolling dice. The only thing
of rolling dice, we saw what would have happened if I had rolled like a 5 on my backflip escape. That's like my first thought when I saw the video of the guy on the field at the Reds game where he's like, I'm going to do a backflip to get out of here. I'm like, yeah, I tried that too.
He didn't roll for a 15 though, so it didn't work.
I did not make that connection. That is exactly what happened. Man.
Oh, that's funny as hell.
He did not do it. He did get
the Baron gives that black flip 2 thumbs down.
I did see Johnny Bench signed the photo that said "Nice catch to Cincinnati's finest." I thought that was very funny with the guy wearing the Johnny Bench jersey. Yeah, wow. What a moment.
A perfect Cincinnati moment. And if anyone's thinking about doing this at an FC Cincinnati game, please don't.
Nope.
Backflips only belong to one person. And we need to enjoy them while they're here because it might not be here much longer.
That's so true. Yeah, the last person who ran out onto the field was a small toddler, and it caused their mother to slip twice and face plant on the field. Ooh, did that happen against San Jose, though?
No.
Philly? I don't remember. Who can remember?
I don't know.
I'm not going to look it up because it reminded me of the 2021 season.
And I as a Cincinnatian, I always get sad whenever I hear about kids running places they shouldn't go because it reminds me of the man we lost, the great Cincinnatian we lost.
The man we honor with the Order of Harambe that we all belong to.
It's also a very Cincinnati story, the guy running on the ballpark, because he's like randomly related to a bunch of local Cincinnati politicians. Yeah, what? I don't know. It doesn't seem to happen that often. It's weird that it doesn't happen more often in some ways. Proof that society is crumbling all around us, I think, is the easy way to look at this. So we come out of the mid-season off-season, and maybe the biggest news around FC Cincinnati is not FC Cincinnati, about another team completely here. Gentlemen, we're going to have to learn some NWSL, I think. FC Cincinnati has officially, I don't know if officially, but they seem to be copping to the allegations that they have submitted a bid on time and in full to receive an expansion bid to the NWSL, one of the 2 Division I sanctioned professional women's soccer leagues in the United States. I don't know, Grayson, what was your thoughts when you saw the story break? My thoughts were, Pat's back from vacation. But the other thought was, boy, was this the most FC Cincinnati statement that they ever have statemented. And I'm just gonna read it because you say they copped to it. I would say they copped like all around it.
Right.
Like they copped like a circle all the way around it. Jeff Birding, president and co-CEO, FC Cincinnati, and the FCC controlling ownership group and management team, with support from a cohort of women executives. And a cohort is, I looked this up, it is the collective term for women executives.
Huh.
Like a murder of crows or a pod of whales. It's a cohort of women executives.
I thought it was like a Roman military legion. Like there was like the legions formed the cohort or something like that.
Well, words can have different meanings. Are exploring an NWSL bid to bring the first professional women's sports team to Cincinnati. As accomplished leaders in business and sport. I love when they just say sport.
I love a singular
and
sport.
not sports.
Somebody has learned world soccer, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Hanging out with FIFA.
With a demonstrated commitment to inclusivity and community impact. I also like community impact because it's like a meteor also has a community impact.
I-75 had quite the community impact when it was built.
And a belief that our sports teams must lead, inspire, and unite. I assume they also meant to say ignite. This dynamic group is well positioned for success. Okay, so
can I go back actually before we do this? Can I go back and redo my joke about cohorts? I actually thought the official term for a group of women was a binder.
Hey,
that's some election humor. Mitt Romney, am I right, fellas?
2012 loves that joke.
It's just like the perfect statement, though, isn't it? Like
they're exploring a bid.
Some people are exploring a bid.
Not submitting,
or
not filing or whatever.
A bid, wondering about it.
I always love these too because of all of the
they're
things.
Well positioned for success.
Yeah.
Sure. They all sound very successful.
But like they want to inspire the community. It's never to win. It's never like we want to build a team to win. It's always like we want to empower the community to be impactful or whatever.
Or the other part too that's like, it's impactful to the community to be leaders and visionary. It's never we see a really good business opportunity and want to invest in this because we feel women's sports are going to make us money. Like, I would respect a statement like that said, look at the growth of women's sports. Of course, we have people that want to put money into this right now.
Yeah. Women buy sneakers too. So just to back up, right? Because this is a statement that like you'd be forgiven if you were like, what does this mean?
Right.
The context of it that it came down in is Sports Business Journal, of all places.
Weird.
Reported that the bid deadline for the 2026 round of NWSL expansion was last Friday. And last Friday, a group from Cleveland tweeted out that their bid was in. And Sports Business Journal said that they could confirm that 3 teams made bids and they couldn't confirm whether others were.
Okay.
2 were the Cleveland group and a Minnesota Aurora group.
Very well supported amateur team in Minnesota.
They're already a women's team up there in Minnesota. They're not in NWSL, obviously, already. And they're not part of the same organization as Minnesota United. Although my understanding is that what I read was that they floated using Minnesota's United Stadium, and Minnesota United was quote unquote supportive.
Yeah, they have a weirdly mutual relationship. I feel like Minnesota United has also done like some soft promotions and like wished them good luck in the playoffs and things like that. So they seem very friendly with each other, at least.
And then, the Minnesota group has also confirmed that they submitted a bid. And then Sports Business Journal said that they heard from sources that FC Cincinnati submitted the bid. And then obviously, Pat Brennan runs with that, gets a statement from the team. The statement says nothing, but it basically, if you look at the context, I would say the statement, the fact of the statement, not so much the content, but the fact of it confirms that they did submit a bid last Friday for 2026. And just, I guess, to kind of tie up the whole context of they're bringing 2 teams into NWSL in 2026. Boston has already been awarded. So this is for the second team to go in.
Gotcha. And so I did a little bit of asking around some sources. They submitted a bid. They're dancing around it. There was a bid that was submitted by the FC Cincinnati ownership group.
Or portions of them.
Portions of them. But put it this way. It's a bid that it's with FC Cincinnati. I think if you don't follow the NWSL, it's important to note there is not, it's not a one-to-one relationship in terms of, oh, there's a New York team, they must be owned by Red Bull or NYCFC. There's a KC team, a Kansas City team that has nothing to do with Sporting Kansas City whatsoever.
Is that right? I don't know. Okay.
They have their own stadium. They don't play at Children's Mercy Park or whatever they're calling it now out there.
DC actually has a very awkward situation because the DC NWSL team plays in Audi Field, but the DC ownership group is also doing what's it? The USL Super
USLW,
League?
USL Super
No,
League.
USLW is like a semi-pro amateur league.
Yeah.
I think it's called the USL Super League that they're
Yes.
starting. It's gonna be a Division I women's league. DC United's ownership group is having a team in that apparently will also play at Audi Field.
Yeah, which is really weird with the USL Super League because Louisville and North Carolina FC, the men's teams in the USL Championship, I think North Carolina FC is in the championship. They bounce around a little bit, but they both have women's teams that are, part of the same ownership group, use the same stadium, use mostly the same branding and colors and things as the men's team, but they're in the NWSL, which is the slightly more MLS adjacent one. So it's a very weird spot.
And to further complicate things, before we get on to what's relevant, Racing Louisville 2 plays in the USLW.
Against Indy 11.
They just played against like Indy 11 women, yeah.
And there's a King's Hammer team from Cincinnati in that same division of those teams. Very funny.
But why it's important that this bid is FCC related, FCC adjacent with an overlap of ownership with FC Cincinnati is that this bid includes as part of it, from what I've heard, and I think it's pretty easy to speculate based on what the tea leaves are that has been released publicly, is that it includes that the games will be played at TQL Stadium. And it includes the fact that on day one or close to day one, the women will have access to use Mercy Health Training Center as their training facility. I don't know if they've ever said anything publicly about it, but if you've ever been invited out to Mercy Health Training Center, I know they invite fans out there. They have fan outings out there. Dan McNally does a lot of the meeting the fans out there. They'll tell anyone that goes to Mercy Health Training Center that there is already a plan in place that is shovel ready, to use more political terminology, to expand Mercy Health Training Center to include a women's facility. It's been discussed. It's ready to go. TQL Stadium has a women's locker room separate from the men's dressing room that will be a home locker room for a women's team eventually. They've been planning this quite literally since they broke ground on all of these facilities for FC Cincinnati. And that's not the case for a lot of bids that go to NWSL. There aren't a lot of teams that play in facilities like TQL Stadium. The league has famously struggled with finding appropriate venues for the games that match the investment level and, quite frankly, make for good TV products so that it doesn't look like you're playing in a substandard facility or at a facility that looks minor league. Having FC Cincinnati's ownership and not just a Cincinnati once NWSL, to me, that moves this from, oh, that's kind of cool, I hope we get it, to I don't see a reality where you turn away FC Cincinnati's ownership group, given what we know about how well thought of all of the facilities are that they're bringing to the table, as well as how well thought of the club is in the American soccer landscape. So that the fact that they went out and they confirmed that this is an FC Cincinnati bid, that's the big news here for me.
Yep. Yeah. And, people have said a lot of things about, the FC Cincinnati's ownership group through the first, 3 years of MLS. And, people still say things today about them. But the one thing you can't say about them is that they have ever been anything but, 100% committed, right?
Yep.
To like providing the quality experience that the fans deserve, but not just the fans deserve, that like the players deserve.
Yeah.
You know? And I gotta think that NWSL looks at what facilities will be available to players if there's a team in Cincinnati, what kind of city environment, you know, they can expect for the players. You look at those U.S. women's games that have been both at TQL Stadium and Nippert Stadium. They've all been, if not sellouts, like very close to sellouts. And you had after that, I think it was just after that first game in Nippert Stadium. Because it was after the first game in Nippert Stadium, during like the COVID lockdown.
Yeah.
Mallory Swanson and Lindsay Horan did like a little like AMA on Instagram Live,
right,
or YouTube or something, and they both said their favorite place to play outside of, you know, their home NWSL stadium was Cincinnati.
right.
And so like, I don't, maybe Jason Williams would call this an inferiority complex, but like, you know, I think it's fair to like just look at what they've done and say this stands out, not just, you know, for the city, but it stands out when put up against any other soccer market in the country.
Yeah.
Right. And you look at, and this is not to like denigrate NWSL, right? But it's like still a growing league. They only have like 14 teams currently.
Yeah.
They've had some teams fold even in recent years. They would, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like this would immediately become one of the most enthusiastic markets for NWSL. And I would be shocked if they didn't immediately pull some big time players.
I mean,
year one, including one Rose Lavelle.
Rose Lavelle will be 31. So, you know, she's not necessarily the youngest player, but that is still, you know, prime age.
I don't think there's any way an NWSL team launches in Cincinnati, Ohio, and Rose Lavelle isn't on the field day one. I feel like
barring injury.
Well,
she'll be on the field. She'll be on the field on crutches.
Right.
She's hurt.
Right.
She has hurt a lot.
Sudden retirement, or, you know, the Saudi Women's League deciding they're going to pay $50 million for people to come over there too in the women's game, which would
That's a trap.
Which would be wild if that was true.
Yeah. I don't think they would do that.
But I have a very, very strong feeling that Rose Lavelle will be a member of any potential FC Cincinnati women's team day one. And here's the deal too. Look, it's another bid process. This one I would expect to be one of those things where you don't hear about it for another however long until all of a sudden there is an announcement that, oh, by the way, Cincinnati got awarded a team. There's nothing to be done about it. There's no petitioning. They know what this market is. They know what the facilities are. They know the people that are. This isn't like the FCC MLS thing where the fans need to get out there and do anything. Just know that it is, I think we're all in agreement, it's a tremendously cool thing that this ownership group remains ambitious to make Cincinnati into a soccer destination for world-class talent, men and women. And they're, to their credit, Birding, Carl, Meg, everyone that's been involved with this project, they saw this as an opportunity to do something in a space, soccer, where America still had room to grow. And you're putting Cincinnati on the map with this, and you're putting Cincinnati and giving Cincinnati opportunities that we otherwise wouldn't have had, I don't think. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it also gives, you know, there was an attempted bid in 2027 for the Women's World Cup. It looks like they're going to bid again for the 2031 World Cup, but it would actually give
this franchise a chance to sort of settle in before potentially hosting Women's World Cup matches. And I think it would actually do us very good to have the fan base show that they would come out and support women's soccer day in and day out to help host some of those games. I think that would be really, really cool. It's also worth saying,
if you're getting some noise in the background too, it's because this closet is right next to a bathroom, and somebody's probably taking a shower there. So apologies.
As long as he stops singing, we'll be okay.
Yeah, no, it's all right. Yeah, they do. Just consider that like background.
I like it. Now, the women's national team's been coming to Cincinnati for a long time now. They went to there's an old field out in Mason, which I think has like been abandoned. You can go find the old grandstands and scoreboard where the old Railhawks, I think they were the Railhawks, the Cheetahs, I think played there. Riverhawks played there. Railhawks was the North Carolina team. Where the women's national team played. They also played at Paul Brown Stadium against New Zealand for a friendly.
I think there was also a team called the Lady Hawks.
There was, yeah. So there's
and the
like
Cincinnati Sirens were a semi-professional soccer.
They played it like old. So the Riverhawks and Lady Hawks, I think, played at old Galbraith Field, which is where the College Football Hall of Fame used to be.
That's right. That's right.
Over by King's High School.
Yeah. That's the one. I think that stadium or that field is still there, but it's just been overgrown and is slowly falling apart. I don't think it is.
I think it was like condemned. Like it was like falling apart and nobody like.
Did they finally knock it down? They had to have.
I think they did.
They had to have.
I had to play. Probably shouldn't even talk about this. I had to play high school soccer games there for like a year or two.
Wow.
Because they found like lead contamination under our high school's field.
Oh, no.
So they had to dig the whole thing out. Yeah.
Huh. I mean, lead does appear in the ground. All right. That's fine. Well, there you go. NWSL.
What are we calling this team if they do get one?
That's a good question. It's a shame.
So you can't use the Royals because there's the Utah Royals.
Right.
Yeah, they just got re-added to Utah. Just came back to NWSL.
Yeah. It's a shame that Pete Rose is the way that he is because and the Thorns exist, which use a lot of Rose imagery, but Rose Lavelle is a very good soccer player. Then you've got Rosemary Clooney and Pete Rose. There's some good sporting merit to having Cincinnati Roses being a name would be fun, but
I think you gotta go.
Pete Rose has a soccer connection because he owned the Cincinnati Kids.
Maybe that's the team name.
No. I don't know that we need to be using Pete Rose and Kids anymore.
Nope. So my suggestion is just FC Cincinnati. Not FC Cincinnati Women. Just FC Cincinnati.
What about Cincinnati FC? So that whenever a European outlet writes about us, they're accidentally writing about the women's team.
Yeah, there you go.
I still think you go Queen City FC.
Queen City FC is good. Queen City SC to be super annoying. So that the FC is the men's team and the SC is the women's team.
Yeah. Yeah, Cincinnati FC Cincinnati and SC Cincinnati. So the SC and the FC.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There we go.
FC Cincinnati, FC Queen City. It's the FC either way. You just have to we're going to see the FC play. We're all one FC.
So we're only playing at a time. So
right.
Maybe. So we've got Gary. Is it then Geraldine? What's the female version of Gary?
Liara.
Or just that's good. More of a Tolly man myself, but
I mean, Grisabella.
Grisabella. That's good. I think
no,
Gary,
it's also Gary.
Yeah,
it's like George Foreman's kid, where George Foreman named all his kids George, men and women.
I think you can have a Gary as a traditional women's name.
Or it's Gary, Garee.
Or Gerri.
Jerry and Gary.
Gary.
Yeah, Geri, like Jerry from Succession.
Yeah.
But I will say that I would have no problem with a just woman presenting Gary.
Do we definitively know if Gary uses he, him pronouns?
We have no idea.
We don't, but we do know Gary is gay. That is canon to the story.
That is canon.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that, but that's true.
Especially this month.
He's only gay during Pride. Okay.
Rainbow washing Gary.
No. How dare you besmirch my man's character? So
I guess watch this space. Women's soccer in Cincinnati. Could be cool.
Yeah. We'll have fun with it. Man, we're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna fold in an NWSL team into. Just
because what does the world need more than 3 dudes talking about women's soccer?
So I make this promise. I have no idea what it looks like. I'll tell you, it will not look like this podcast, because if I'd known what this podcast would be, what I intentionally create would be something different. But you will get, there will be something. The NWSL team, I promise people, if it happens, it will not go uncovered.
Yes.
And it will hopefully be covered by people that understand the NWSL more than us.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other. But it's not to imply that we understand MLS.
That's accurate.
I just want to be clear about that.
But I mean, I think we can get away with pretending to know one thing. Pretending to know 2 things seems like a tall order.
And a lot of time. I'll be honest, it's a lot of time.
Right.
So there we go. Do we want to make people wait to give them the Yuya Kubo interview? Is there anything else we want to touch on? U.S. men's national team tied Brazil. Berhalter in.
I think this is a real quick hit. I don't care about Berhalter.
Okay.
Either way. Right. Cincinnati is on the list of team base camp.
Yes.
Destinations for the 2026 World Cup. I'm on the record that I don't give a shit about that.
I don't care.
And because I wanted a game.
Yeah.
And they didn't give it to us, so I don't want their little consolation prize.
It's not even a consolation prize. What like, it does mean nothing. It's like, oh, the one hotel will have a higher occupancy rate this week. So good.
That said, when like Vinicius Jr. is like hopping around Cincinnati and taking pictures from Mercy Health Training Center, I'll promote that.
Yeah.
The only way I like this, or the only way I give a shit about this, is if whoever the best players on this team are that like is using this as a base camp,
sign with us.
No, like they have to do like a timeshare presentation at Mercy Health Training Center where they are herded into a room and given a full pitch about the joys of living in Cincinnati. Like, you know, we talk about it's a great place to raise your family, but we're going to give you a full tour of the complex, and we won't let you leave until you've signed a commitment in some way that you want to come play for FC Cincinnati. That's what needs to happen at the base camp. We need to put the full court press on whoever the best player is on that national team to come sign here.
Yeah, and you can come use the best training facilities in the United States.
Yep.
Have a very comfortable, spacious stay, but you do have to try Skyline Chili.
Yes.
And you have to talk about what you liked and didn't like about it on camera.
And just give a 15-minute interview to the PostCast and promise to sign for below max TAM on your next contract.
They do have to give us at least one player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legally.
Unless it's like some horse shit team, like, you know.
No, we want that.
Yeah, we're more likely to get a player the worse the team is.
I don't want to end up with just, you know, some guy with a 25 rating on FIFA.
But that's the thing is, like, except for the US, like every country, no matter how dog shit their national team is, they have one like Mo Salah.
Yeah, one ringer. Yeah.
Right.
Who's the
I mean, we're not going to know the answer, but like the worst team that could make the World Cup is probably like New Zealand. I don't know if Oceania gets a.
They have to play a playoff.
I think they get an automatic.
I think they probably get an automatic bid because it's going to 48. They had to play a playoff before.
Yeah. And yeah,
is Chris Wood, is he New Zealand?
Yeah. Oh no, we poached him. Dwayne Holmes. You remember that name?
Dwayne the Rock Holmes.
we poached him for 2 caps, I think, in 2019. We do that to a lot of guys' careers.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
I don't care.
know.
Like, I don't care about base camps. Just, unless it's Germany or something like that, and we get all their best players. That's all I would care about.
Germany would be fun. It won't be the U.S. If you look at how the U.S.'s schedule, because they also released the sort of tentative group schedules as well, the U.S. plays almost exclusively on the West Coast until the final, unless they happen to be one of the best third place teams to advance out of the group. Then they could end up in Dallas and Atlanta a little earlier. But otherwise, it's not going to be the U.S. And Mexico will probably be in Mexico, and Canada will probably be in Canada. So there you go. Yuya Kubo. We got to talk about this because he came on the podcast and it is still blowing my mind. I hope people enjoy this. This was a ton of fun. Like, it's just not something you get to do that often.
This is when Grayson said starting the postcast. There was no reality when we started the postcast where I thought we'd be talking to Yuya Kubo. So
we started the post, let alone the postcast, after Yuya Kubo had signed with FC Cincinnati. That's fun to think about. Makes you think.
Wow.
I don't know.
And here we found ourselves talking to Yuya.
It didn't get to bring it up. He is 3 appearances away from, I guess 4, from beating Nick Hagland for the all-time appearance list. And that's going to be a fun tussle to keep an eye on, because if in fact we get a new striker to fill in and Nick continues to slide down the depth chart, it's going to be a tight race the rest of the year.
Well, Yuya also is like 4 appearances away from playing more games for FC Cincinnati than he has for any other team his entire career.
Nice. Love that.
It's officially one of us. I love it. This was fun. This was cool.
Yeah.
I was very nervous before this interview.
Depending on how Kubo's career ends, he's the first MLS era player you could realistically see a jersey retirement of, I think. I think he'd be the first one, just because I assume Lucho will keep playing after him. But
yeah, like Lucho's going to play forever. Like that's
yeah. Well, there you go.
10 years from now, we'll still be saying, well, what if he came off the bench? Is that like the best way to use him?
There we go. Well, without further ado, enjoy the Yuya Kubo interview. On the backside, we've got your San Jose preview with a brief appearance by intern Luke. So look forward to that after Yuya Kubo. Before we get to the next part of the episode, I do want to tell you about our sponsor, Cincy Shirts, which is now the home of official Cincy PostCast merch. This is so exciting, and we really never thought we'd see the day, and yet here we are, alive and actually seeing the day. Cincy Shirts has been with FC Cincinnati from the beginning. They've been with the Post for ever now, from the beginning, our very first sponsor. So happy to have them along for this journey. There are 6, count them, 6 different shirts available at this time of recording that you can purchase from their website for real life. This is, again, a real thing that you can do. As I'm sure you know, but I will remind you, they have 3 retail locations, including Fort Mitchell, Loveland, and Oakley Hyde Park, where in those locations they can print on demand. If they don't have the size of something you want, you can print on demand. I assume this means PostCast shirts as well. Give it a shot. Let me know how that goes. If for some reason you do not want to purchase one of our shirts, I won't hold it against you. You can use promo code ThePostCincy. That's all one word, all caps, ThePostCincy for 10% off your next order. This also works with PostCast shirts, so please don't pay full price. Make sure you knock 10% off for yourself on that one. Spread the code far and wide, I guess, and let them know about Cincy shirts and let them know about the podcast while you're at it. Otherwise, the code doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But again, a huge thank you to Cincy Shirts for sponsoring this episode and so many before it. And if I do see you out there with a t-shirt, I will be embarrassed for you, but I will probably give you a high five and tell you well done. So again, thank you to Cincy Shirts. Thank you to you for buying shirts and using that promo code. And joining us here, and I still can't believe I get to say this, on the podcast today is a very special guest for us, someone who has appeared for FC Cincinnati some 133 times across 3.5 seasons in the orange and blue. We have the one and only Yuya Kubo on the PostCast. Yuya, how are you doing this afternoon?
Good. I'm good.
This is a big thrill for us, Yuya. Been longtime fans. I want to start out with this question because it's something I've been wondering. You came to this team having played as a winger, you've played as a forward, you've played as an attacking mid, you've played as a defensive mid, you've played as a wingback. Is there any position on a soccer field that you can't play?
Yeah, I think I can play the goalkeeper and maybe center back. I think I cannot play. Still, the coach put me the center back. Yeah, of course I will play, but yeah, I think I cannot play goalkeeper and the center back.
Would you want to play goalkeeper if it was offered to you? Would you give it a shot?
No, of course not.
That's great. Well, we do catch you at a sort of weird time in the season here. It's been a couple of weeks since the team has had a match. As a professional soccer player, do you like having these breaks in the season, or would you rather, the regular grind of the season be happening?
I think for me, I like to have a break because I like spending time with family. I think during a season if we don't have breaks, so we don't get enough the holiday, like 5 days off, 6 days off. I think it's nice for me.
And when you get that time off, Yuya, what is it that you like to do? What's sort of the thing that you do during your time off?
I just spending my family. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we go to the park or we go to the pool with the kids. Yeah, yeah.
Have you found a favorite restaurant in Cincinnati that you like to take the family to? Maybe.
Yeah. I have of course, a Japanese restaurant. I like Japanese restaurant, but I like Chipotle.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
That's awesome. We're like I said, we're so incredibly lucky to have you on the podcast today. And I don't know if you are aware of this, but you are something of a fan, hero in the fan base. People really, really like you. You sort of got this like cult hero status among FC Cincinnati fan base, but I don't think we know that much about you. So if you don't mind, I kind of want to go back to the beginning of Yuya Kubo's career here. Growing up in Japan, did you always find yourself drawn to soccer, or were you into lots of sports? Were you playing lots and lots of different sports?
Oh yeah, growing up, I only played soccer. And yeah, when I was kid, maybe 3 to 5, maybe I tried to swimming a little bit, but most of the time I played soccer. Yeah.
Never gotten to baseball or anything like that.
No, I've never tried. But baseball in Japan is very famous, but I've never tried.
No. You ever make it out to a Reds game? Have you had the time to take that in?
Yeah, no, not yet. I want to watch, but I was busy.
It's almost like you've got other things going on during the summer.
Yeah.
I was super interested in this. This is something that does not happen all that often in the United States. Is you turned pro at the age of 16, breaking in with your club there. I'm super interested in that process. Was that something that was normal for your age group? Were there lots of teenagers that age going pro, or were you something of a standout there?
No, just actually, I became a professional when I was 17.
Oh.
So, and that times I think I was really lucky because the top team, the forward, they got injured, so that they don't have a forward, and then I was playing forward, and then the club picked me oh yeah, you have to play because we don't have strikers now. And then I could play and then first game I scored goal, and then after this season I joined the top team, and yeah, that was really lucky. So,
oh, that's not lucky. That's just whenever there's a need, Yuya Kubo steps up. I mean, that's
yeah, that's true.
That is so much your story. 19, 20 years old, you move from Japan to Switzerland. You take the move to Young Boys. Was the goal for you always to play in Europe, or how did that move come about for you?
Yeah, but when I was kid, so I always had dreamed to play the Europe. And then when I was 19, I got an offer from Switzerland, and then immediately I said yes, I will go. And then first time that I went to Switzerland, it was big. I think biggest experience. I think because everything I didn't know. Even I couldn't speak English, German, nothing. I only speak Japanese, and everything different. I left home first time. Yeah, but it was good experience for me.
Outside of the language, what was maybe the hardest thing to transition to, or what was the thing you missed the most back home?
First 3 months, I think I missed my family. So that I think I didn't have a friend there. And so it was so tough. But after 3 months, I got a friend. I met a friend there. And then also I started playing soccer in Switzerland, and then I scored a goal, and then I was enjoying. Yeah.
You need to see that first goal go in, and then it all clicks, right?
Yes.
And if I remember correctly, you played with Josef Martinez at Young Boys. Did you both follow MLS back then? Were you both aspiring to dominate the United States soccer leagues there?
Yeah, but I played with him just half years. So after that, he left he went to the Italy, and then Torino, I think, and then he came MLS before I came MLS, I think, and he was already a star here. And I know him when he was young, so I played together with him only half years, but. That time also he was hero in Switzerland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what sort of, you're over in Europe and the call comes to potentially come to Cincinnati. When you were first recruited by FC Cincinnati, what was it that made this a good opportunity or an enticing opportunity for you and made you decide to come here to sign?
So 2020, I came here, and the first time I got an offer from Cincinnati, actually I didn't play so much time in Ghent. Then I thought oh yeah, it's a good opportunity to playing soccer again. And then also they have a good the vision, I think. And yeah, but of course I came here and the coach got fired and everything changed. But my first impression was good for me. Yeah, that's why I came here.
Yeah, you've certainly seen the highs and lows of FC Cincinnati, but I am wondering, long before you joined FC Cincinnati back in 2018, so 2-3 years before you joined, there was an Instagram account made that was Yuya Kubo to Cincinnati. Somebody, we never have met this person, had been trying for years to convince, I don't know who, to recruit you to Cincinnati. Did you know that this existed?
No, I didn't know that. Even I don't know yet.
A tiny part of me thought it might have been you.
Okay. Yeah, even I haven't seen this Instagram account yet.
Well, you had a really big fan in Cincinnati before you even thought about joining MLS, apparently.
That's crazy.
So you do join FC Cincinnati, presumably as a striker, as a winger, as a forward generally. But it was only about a year or two into your tenure here where the decision was made to move you to a midfielder role, or even a defensive midfielder role. Was that an opportunity that you were looking forward to, or was that something that was sort of asked of you out of necessity?
Yeah, first time I played the midfielder, so when the coach was Yap Stam, and then that times I talked to the Yap, and maybe I want to play the more offensive, and then after that, but if the coach wants you to play the midfielder, and then the player have to play this position. He said, okay, but it's not my position, and then next time the Yap put me the bench, and then I didn't play so maybe 5-6 games, and then after that I realized, oh maybe I should play I tried to play the midfielder, and then I start to improve myself. I tried the midfielder in the training and the game, and then after that maybe I used to play the midfielder, I
think. Are you happy to be back at striker? When we seen you most recently, you seem to be more as the striker. You happy to be back?
Yeah, of course. I'm happy because when I started playing soccer, I played the striker, and then winger, and I played a different position, but back again the striker. That's good. Hopefully, I can continue to play the striker. I never know the future.
Is there a lot of pressure to score a goal as a striker when you have a birth announcement to make?
No, that doesn't matter if my wife pregnant or not. Just always if I play the striker, always I get a pressure a little bit to score a goal. But that's normal, I think. Every striker get the pressure.
Did you get in trouble for forgetting to do the celebration?
No. Even my wife also forget, I think, this celebration. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
You mentioned that, you had a managerial change when you came here, and there was a lot of things that changed at FC Cincinnati during your time here. this past offseason, you were out of contract and you made the decision to re-sign with FC Cincinnati. What was it that made you decide to stay here and make a commitment to the team for a longer term, for another contract, versus maybe going someplace else and trying, looking someplace else for your next opportunity?
Last season I think I didn't play so much time, and then I was thinking, better I should try the new team or new opportunity, but the great things that the club offered me again, and it was good offer. And also my family and me like to stay in the US, and especially my kids, they love to Cincinnati, and also I love to Cincinnati. It's very comfortable to live in Cincinnati. That's why we decided to stay here.
We got sort of an odd question for you. This one came from the Discord. People were asking this. They were curious. Do you have any pets?
No.
Okay. I did see this as well. MLS made a video recently with some of the other Japanese players and Asian players in Major League Soccer. And you had mentioned in that you like to drink Japanese alcohol. I am curious, what is the drink of choice for you?
Yeah, I think I made a mistake this interview. I think.
Oh no!
I didn't drink alcohol maybe long time. But, our tradition, maybe the end of the year, we spend the time with family, and everyone drink the alcohol, maybe Nihonshu or beer or whatever. But essentially, I haven't drunk so long time, maybe 2-3 years. So that's why
It's the danger of doing an interview and getting it taken out of context, I think, sometimes.
Yeah. But my family likes to drinking maybe beer and Nihonshu. Yeah. It's made from the rice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the famous, I think, famous alcohol from my city. Yeah.
So since that video put the wrong impression out there, is there a fun fact about yourself you would have rather that they would have included in that video, besides that you like drinking Japanese alcohol? Anything else that you would rather say to put out to the people so that we have a new fact about Yuya Kubo that we can talk about?
Yeah, but I like beer and Nihonshu as well, because my family sometimes I try to drink and then I like it. I think it's not lying, but essentially I didn't drink alcohol, so it's true, but
we're setting the record straight.
Yes. No worries there. So you have been with FC Cincinnati. Like I said, you've seen the team go from worst in the league to best in the league. What do you think is maybe the most important piece in turning a team around from worst to first?
I don't know, but it was changing a lot because we changed the players, stuff, and the system, and we changed everything. That's why it's not only the one things, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe if I pick one things, maybe the players.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but yeah. Because we have Lucho and we have Brandon, or so many good players we have. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, one of the changes is definitely the coaching staff. You've got Pat Noonan now in charge, and the team has seen success with his arrival. And obviously, lots of other things have changed. Front office staff, lots of player turnover. One thing lots of fans have seen on social media is the transfer game, and in particular, the teams of gray versus green. I've got to know. I've got to know, what does it take to get on the gray team in the transfer game, and maybe even explain what this is for people who don't know.
It's just so fun games, and also the coaching staff decided who's gonna be the gray and the green. Okay. And most of the times, the pink team is young players.
Okay.
Gray is old players, but sometimes green is Sergio and Nick is green team. But we mix, but just fun games.
Yeah. We've sort of been assuming that Lucho picks his team and that you have to ask him to join his team. Is that not how it works?
No. Yeah. That would be nice, but no.
Do you think you would make the team if Lucho picked the team?
Yeah, if Lucho pick the team, and of course every time this team will win.
Oh gosh. One piece of this that not a lot of people, or it's been some time. You have had actually the opportunity to play with the Japanese national team. I'm curious if you have any good moments or stories from playing with the national team and representing your country there.
It was a great memory for me. Of course, I played only for 14 games or something, 2 years, but I played with many good players who played in Europe, a big country, and it was my good memories. Yeah.
Well, I'll say you've been incredibly generous. I've just got one last question here for you. On Christmas Day next year, if I have the math right, you will have officially spent the majority of your life as a professional soccer player. When you look back on your career, what do you think will be your favorite memory?
Oh, favorite memory. I think when I played the national team first game, I did, and the first goal, it was a away game in Qatar, and the qualification of the Russia World Cup, and then we won the 2-1 or something. Yeah, and then I scored the first goal. That was my favorite memory, I think. Yeah.
Scoring for your national team has got to be top of a lot of people's lists.
It's a hell of a memory.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Well, Kubo, like I said, you've been incredibly generous with your time. We don't want to take any more time away from your family. We do want to say best of luck against San Jose and the rest of the season, and happy to see you back out there on the training field. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and we are back, and again, wow, a huge thank you to Yuya Kubo for being on the podcast. This is, I mean, guys, we had a list one time.
I don't even know. It's funny that we replayed the Mitch Hildebrand interview.
This feels like a bit. Like this feels like a bit.
I haven't been this nervous doing an interview since the Mitch interview. Like, I was genuinely, I hope he likes us.
It was a lot. Like, we did. It came together quickly, a little behind the curve. It came together quickly, and it was some of the most prep we had done in terms of, like, what would we ask this guy? What do we want to know? What do we need to know?
Everything. I want to ask everything. They said we have 15 minutes with Yuya, and I'm like, that's not even close to enough to scratch the surface of things I want to know about Yuya Kubo.
And I feel like, well, we did get to talk to him for a while. I don't know that we actually learned that much about him.
My man loves Chipotle. That's all I need to know is that, like, my man loves Chipotle. And I hope he's one of those people out there fighting the good fight, holding the video camera up to make sure that his portion size is correct.
No, don't do that.
He's an athlete. He needs it.
I don't know what it is about professional soccer players, but they all do seem to love Chipotle. Like, American players playing in Europe get asked occasionally, like, what's the one thing they miss from home? They always say Chipotle. Foreign players tend to say...
just Weston McKennie?
I feel like Pulisic mentioned it as well.
Really?
So,
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like a thing. So I was glad he was on that train. So yeah, wow, that was a ton of fun. And our first not a goalkeeper current player. So look at us growing and branching out as a podcast.
Right?
Well, and we might see him this weekend, which is, again, wild. There is a game. The long dreaded midseason off-season finally reaches its conclusion on the 15th, on Saturday, for whoever can stay up at a 10:30 p.m. kickoff. San Jose hosts our beloved Orange and Blue. And to help us preview this, because, it's been a while, we had to bring in the help of the intern. Yes, it is a real thing that happened. We put out the call for an intern. We got exactly 1.5 applications, and we ended up with Luke here. Intern Luke, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. And how rude is it that you put me on the episode with Yuya Kubo? How am I ever going to live up to that?
Well, look at it this way. Like, hopefully we spike some download numbers with this, and it just increases the number of people that you're able to be introduced to. So,
like Yapstam, you can ride Yuya Kubo's coattails to a job that you probably shouldn't have. So that'll be good.
So Luke, what made you decide that you wanted to apply for the internship here with the PostCast? What was it that drove your decision to join this merry band for the summer?
So it originally started, I saw you guys are doing it. I'm like, oh, that would be sweet, but I'll let someone who's like actually knows what they're doing apply to it. And then like 2 weeks later.
First mistake.
Yeah, never do that.
Right. Always lie and say you're more qualified than you really are. That's rule number 1 in life.
And then Kevin was like, no one applied. I'm like, well, I guess I might as well. And so I was sitting at work and I was pulling up my resume or whatever and just submitted it at work. I'm like, well, I guess I'm doing this. And then I just waited and I got it. It was pretty great. I wanted to do it because everyone in my life is tired of me talking about FC Cincinnati. So if I use this as an outlet, maybe my family will start to like me more. So,
they say actually that's funny. I get a couple of comments on that because one is that's the entire origin of this podcast is like my wife does not want to talk to me about FC Cincinnati. So this is what I do this is where I talk about it. But the other thing is, they say internships are about life experience, and you did get kind of an important life experience there, which is sitting at one job while applying for a different job.
That is the best time to be filling out applications, I will say. You don't want to be without the job applying. That's a bad spot. I've been there. You don't want to be in that one.
I really need this to pay my bills.
Ooh. Well, then you better hope the Opie shirt sells really, really well.
I hope your bills are very small.
Yeah. Use promo code the post Cincy at checkout. Kevin, were you as shocked as I was to receive an email from Cincy Shirts featuring all of our shirt designs to their full email blast list?
That was absolutely wild. I was like, oh, wow, they sent me an email showing what the graphics look like. And then I realized, ooh, that was a real life mass email featuring our artwork. Yeah, that's weird, but I love it. Like, I don't know, every step along the way, the PostCast, the Super Content League. Never forget. Yeah, man, just it keeps growing and it keeps expanding, and we find ourselves in weird places. Like there's an intern on this Zoom call right now. It doesn't make any sense. And
not only is there an intern, there's an intern who I assigned homework to in preparation for this preview of, gentlemen, we're back. There's finally soccer to talk about. It feels a lot less pathetic that I'm sitting in a closet in a rental unit at a beach condo when I'm actually talking about a game that's coming up. But here we find ourselves. We're back. We have survived the off season. I'm excited. Let's talk about this.
Let's do it. San Jose Earthquakes, shooting from the hip. I think they've been terrible this year. And a quick look at the table shows me they're in dead last. So I was right about that. But Luke, tell me about the San Jose Earthquakes.
The Earthquakes or San Jose? I brought a San Jose fun facts.
Let's start with San Jose fun facts. I did ask Luke to do fun facts about the city of San Jose so that we can better know our opposition this week.
My favorite one: San Jose law limits owners to 5 licensed animals only. Ooh. And no more than 3 dogs. You can do 5 cats, but don't you dare touch a 4th dog.
I would have loved to have seen the meeting minutes for that debate. Like the 4-dog lobby was furious. The 2-dog lobby, they would not give an inch.
The problem is that crazy cat ladies vote. The dog owners don't vote. The crazy cat ladies get out there and vote.
There's no right to bear ARFs in California.
But this does mean you might be able to own 5 bears.
If you can get a license for them, I guess.
Many people noting California is the bear flag republic, so
it's on brand for them. What else did you find?
This one, as a fan of Monopoly, is home to the world's largest Monopoly board.
Wow.
I'm like, that sounds ridiculous and made up. I'll bring that one up.
How big is it?
I don't know. I just
bigger than any other one.
It's just slightly larger.
It's like twice the size of a regular one. Just nobody else bothered to ever try.
Now I need to know how beatable this record is, because like I said, if Grayson said it's just twice as big as a regular Monopoly board, shit. I mean, let's do this.
I say we break the record and then we send that board on the plane with the team, so they show up with the record. That would be good trash talk.
Yeah, the San Diego unfettered capitalism fan. Love that for San Jose. Sorry.
Whoa! Don't you dare compliment San Diego. How dare I?
No.
I was going to say the PostCast, home to the world's largest Monopoly board.
Yes. Yeah. That is true.
Covers soccer, but that's still the tagline, home for the world's largest Monopoly board. So it's a Monopoly website? Nope.
All right, and then my last one is San Jose earthquake related. I thought this one was good. The breaking ground ceremony for their stadium is the world's largest ever, with 6,256 participants.
Huh.
That is a fun fact.
That is a weird one. Fact. I like that.
I know that for a fact they tried to make a lot of people show up for the groundbreaking of TQL Stadium and ended up with a lot of leftover plastic shovels because they thought the crowd would be bigger than it was.
I do still have my plastic shovel, so that's pretty fun.
Well, I, for one, feel like I know enough about San Jose, the city, and the people that we can actually talk and preview this game successfully. Kevin, how do you feel about this?
You know, I didn't know anything about San Jose going into this, and now I know things. So, yeah, this was a successful preview, even if we stop now. But we're not gonna. I don't know. That was a lot of pointing.
No. A lot of pointing. You seem very certain of where this was going next.
I had no idea.
It's what do I know about this team? I know San Jose is on the West Coast, which means this will be an annoying late night kickoff. I think this is what, a 10:30 kickoff?
10:30. It's gonna be a late one. It's gonna be a miserable one. Their stadium is built what looks like into the airport. So like one one end of the stadium is open, not unlike Louisville Stadium. But it's an airport that it looks out to. It's like right across a small service road from an airport.
So like if I know that they say when we learned that the training at altitude, the best thing to do is to spend as little time at altitude as possible, like fly in at the last minute, fly out as soon as possible. Is West Coast soccer the same way? Like we gas up the private jet, fly there, right off the tarmac, walk into the stadium, keep the jet running, right off the jet after the game and back?
Yeah, I think that's how you have to do it. The visual of the team walking off of the plane into the stadium is actually really fun.
You know what would be really great is they walk down the jetway and they've already got the little kids standing there and they immediately take the kids' hands and like walk right into the stadium. They're all in full kits and cleats, like they're already ready to roll right off the plane.
It's a long walk, but they'll have a chaperone, so it's okay.
It's like, look, for tax purposes, we spend as little time with boots on the ground in California as possible. We've got to get the hell out of here.
Just scaling some chain link fence to get out of the airport.
Right.
That'd be good.
So San Jose sucks.
They suck.
Yeah. We haven't played in a while, so I have a problem with object permanence. I'm like a toddler that way. So I don't know what to expect from the FC after a long layoff. It sounds like we didn't ask about it because you don't want to put him on the spot, but all the indications are that Yuya seems like he's back full training. So that's a good thing.
Yep.
Corey Baird probably, I think, is the only person that's out. And I've heard from a little birdie, a little inside source, maybe Aaron Bupenza is possibly available for this match, which would be very interesting. I don't know what his training status has been the last couple of days, but it sounds like we should be able to field a pretty full lineup for this game. Hopefully everybody used their time off effectively.
Yeah, I'll say Bupenza's social media status is all orange and blue. He is trying to, I don't know what the game plan is, or he's just happy to be back, but he's been tweeting a lot about FC Cincinnati.
Finally eating solid foods and back to being happy again.
I'll take it. Yeah, a happy, confident Aaron Bupenza was a problem last year, so I would not mind a return to form for a little bit. Until he's sold someplace else. Miles won't be available for this, right? I'm guessing, or will he be back?
I think. I mean, he'll be available.
Yeah. Where the friendly against Brazil is in Orlando?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
great work, Luke. That was incredible. Like that
was good.
That's the kind of fact checking on the spot we need right there. I love that. I love that for us.
You know, a lot of podcasts do have like the silent producer who is constantly fact checking as it goes. There may be something to this.
Well, that would ruin my drives into work, but whatever.
That's true. Hey, I'm not here to ruin anybody's commute. He'd be available, but I wouldn't expect Miles.
No, I also gave Luke another assignment here, a player to watch for San Jose for the Earthquakes. What do you got for us, Luke?
I have right back Carlos Acapo. I'm so sorry if that's not right at all.
We don't know, so it's fine.
The main reason I'm interested in this guy is we have Luca Orisano, who has been kind of the life of this team recently, and he will be going directly against this guy. I think this is the matchup you need to watch. Lucho Acosta can always find one ridiculous goal out of his ass, but that's not enough to win games sometimes. I think if we get Luca playing down the left side deep, that's going to win us games. And I think this is the matchup that we need to be looking at.
Man, we're getting hard-hitting player analysis right here. I love this.
Yeah. Also, 29 years old. He just did some international duty on June 10th. Could be tired. I'm into it.
He just missed a game for yellow card accumulation. So he missed the game where New York City got destroyed him 5-1. That's a big loss for him. I wonder if that's what was maybe missing for that San Jose team.
Many people are saying.
And my fun fact for him, because that was also assigned by the Chief, is questionably a model. If you look on his Instagram, he has like 2 posts where he like Looks like he's dressing up for a model, and also his bio says gamer. I thought that was an interesting
Is there any sign about what game it is?
No, zero sign of what game it could be. I honestly don't know if he meant to put like player, like because he's an athlete and he just mistranslated it into gamer, because that would be even funnier than him playing video games.
Or if he's like he's like a shitty practice player, like he's always getting cooked in practice. Like, no worry, coach, I'm a gamer, man. It doesn't matter what I look like in training.
Man, that's so good. Gamer. He's probably he's 29 though. It's probably Fortnite, but
he just
Roblox.
plays FIFA as himself.
I have a lot of questions.
Plays FIFA as himself. That would be tremendous. It would be so bad to play. Like, you get FIFA, you're all excited to play as yourself, and you're absolutely terrible. Like, you got to go into the editor and crank the attributes up, I think, if you're going to do that.
I already did that for our team.
Good.
We love that.
I was going to say, I think a lot of college football players are about to go through this. So
yeah, there was a guy I went to grad school with where he played football at Cornell, and we looked his player ranking up after we found this out, and he was at 35. He was the lowest rating you could get. It's like whatever the score is you get for signing your name on the ACT, that was kind of like his player rating in NCAA football. It was very that was the only thing that anyone else found out about him, was just he was the worst linebacker in this game. All right, how do we see this game going down? San Jose got him to keep. I've got San Diego on the brain. I hate the hate for San Diego has now permeated all cities with the San in front of it. So San Antonio, San Jose, San Francisco. I'm forgetting a few probably. 100.
No, that's all of them.
That's all of them, yeah. Famously, no additional Saints beyond those people.
Yes.
How do we see this going down?
I mean, you have to assume FC Cincinnati will destroy this San Jose team. I like to think of this game as revenge for Alan Koch, because I want to say it was a pretty rough beatdown to San Jose that ended Alan Koch's tenure in MLS with FC Cincinnati. But you have Kelsey, you have Kubo, you have Dado, you might have a spot appearance by Bupenza. Yedlin's healthy. Other than Miles Robinson maybe being a little tired from national team duty, we should have the full first team and second team available for this one. I mean, you have to assume this is a multi-goal win.
So let's do our predictions and also our striker pairing, as we traditionally do.
This is good. Let's start with Grayson. Grayson, what's your prediction here?
Is the last time that we played San Jose the 6-0 win?
Yes.
In 22?
Yes. I feel confident in saying we did not play them last year.
1-1.
Oh,
Brutal.
I feel like they never do great going off of these long layoffs, and they're coming off of a loss. I don't know. And my striker pairing is Kelsey and Kubo.
Good picks. Yeah. Luke, what do you got?
I'm not feeling very positive about this one.
Wow.
During my research of San Diego, notoriously.
Whoa. San Diego? I'm rubbing off on the intern here.
San Jose, notoriously all bad players, therefore will be incredible against FC Cincinnati. I can see this.
That's a good call.
He's got a point.
I see a 2-1 loss in the future of this team.
Wow. 2 losses in a row? Is Pat Noonan on the hot seat?
No. This is a 3-1 victory for the FC. The MLS clean sheet, the reason I'm not predicting a true clean sheet is, like Luke said, they're full of shitty players, and if there's one thing that's our kryptonite, it's shitty players scoring some wonder goal out of nowhere. My striker pairing is Kelsey and Kubo. They both score, and in fact, they score all 3 goals between the two of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
I am going to
Kubo
say
getting the postcast bump.
yes.
And if he scores, it is official, the postcast bump. And that will encourage potentially additional strikers to come on so that we're no longer the Goalkeepers Union podcast.
It leads to us getting the Aaron Bupenza exit interview to end all interviews.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to predict a 5-0 victory for FC Cincinnati. There is no reason to believe that this San Jose team can score on the best defense in the league. And we may be inefficient and wasteful and non-clinical, but give us 50 cracks at the apple and we'll put in 1 out of every 10. So 5-0.
I like those odds.
Striker pairing, I will say Kelsey Dado. I think it's partially easing Kubo back in. It's partially see who needs the first break, and Kubo's the first sub off the bench. But scores, if that makes you feel better.
Go.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as we get the goal. And remember, if he celebrates after the goal, that's for us.
We will get it done. Well, if any of that happens, we'll probably talk about it on the postcast. And Luke, welcome to the team, my guy. Thank you for writing the stories. I will have you know, I received compliments from people, I will tell you off air, that read your Kevin Kelsey story. They liked it. So look at you go. You're getting some compliments from some folks. It's good.
It's all the bots, and all they said was, my nudes in bio, but they were
did.
compliments never the same.
In my application, the article I sent notoriously received a 70 from my English teacher. So I was like, well, this is what I got, so I'll send it in.
I read that and thought, C material? You write for the Post now, my man.
Fantastic.
Hey, doctors that finish first in their class and last in the class, they're all still doctors. It's okay. You'll be fine. Luke, thank you for joining the postcast. Thanks for hanging out with us for this summer. This will be fun. For the rest of you, thank you. And Chief,
once more from the closet, go fuck yourself, San Diego.
thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Cincy Postcast. It is a production of The Post Cincy. You can check us out at thepostcincy.com or just click a link in the description to check out some of our written work. It also has links to our social media accounts across all sorts of different platforms, including YouTube, where we are trying to do more and more video content. Please, dare I say it, like and subscribe and leave a comment. But no, that would be really, really helpful. Also want to give a thank you to Jim Trace and the Makers. They're a local Cincinnati band who provided all of the music for this episode. We love having them on board. You can check them out. Again, link in the description of this episode to find out where they might be playing shows next or where you can listen to more of their music. Also want to give a massive, massive thank you to the awesome and very attractive patrons over on Patreon. It is a voluntary subscription that people take out with no real promise of anything extra that keep this show afloat. And we are so, so thankful to those of you that have decided to take that commitment. If you do like the show, or at least just want to engage with other people who have listened to the show and want to talk about FC Cincinnati, MLS, soccer, or really anything else, you can go on over to Discord. Again, link in the description. Lots of links in the description where you can find a link to the Discord. That's where we are keeping the conversation going 24/7. It feels like it's a really fun group of people in there just talking about FC Cincinnati. And like I said, just about everything else. And finally, I'll say it, if you liked this episode, and given the fact that you've made it all the way to the end, I have to assume you either like it or for some reason cannot reach the stop button.
Please share this episode with a friend or family member or someone who likes FC Cincinnati. The best way for us to grow is from a personal recommendation from somebody who likes it. And if that's you, please tell other people. And if you don't have any friends, feel free to give us a review on whatever your podcast platform of choice is. We'll take anything we can get. But again, a huge, huge thank you to everybody for listening to this show. I am blown away that anybody listens to this. So again, I well and truly mean this. Thank you so much for listening.